So we're here at Oxford at Christ Church Cathedral, and we had the morning with Father Andrew Pinsent. We celebrated Mass with him in the morning, and at the very end of the Mass, he wanted to thank all the families who had brought children to the Mass, acknowledging how hard that would have been. He said that the cry of the babies is like is like the song of angels. We then spent the rest of the morning talking about the Catholic Church in England, philosophy, Descartes, astrophysics. Father Andrew is an astrophysicist who works here at the university. We spoke about the divide of Catholics and Protestants, and that how ultimately when it comes to bioethics, the politics is generally quiet about the issue, not wanting to rock the boat. Having spent most of the morning with him, I think when it comes back to bringing out a bioethical message from today, it goes back to really where we can do most for the cause of bioethics, which is at the Mass, and the words of Father Andrew, who said that the cry of babies is the song of angels.
Something that really stuck with me with our conversation as we walked through Oxford. We got a really beautiful private walking tour of Oxford from the eyes of Father who studied here, who's come back here, and he seems to have a really close connection with the place. And he talked about this beautiful idea of the organic growth of education, how Oxford University isn't as simple as one campus. It kind of grows and it branches off. And it's no wonder that it's the home to some of the great minds like C.S. Lewis and T.S. Eliot. And it's just amazing to walk on the grounds here and through Oxford where these people would have walked. And I think that really comes back to, he kept referring back to this idea of society as a garden rather than a machine. And I think if we take this back to the pro-life message, it becomes very clear that we need to go back to that idea of the flourishing of humankind, not using people, not seeing people as a resource to be used as we like, but that they are unrepeatable. We have, potentially losing a flourishing space in our human race because we are turning towards self-interest rather than self-gift. So I think that idea of going back to the idea of society as a garden rather than a machine, it's how education has flourished here, and I think that's how human society is going to flourish in future, especially going back to this pro-life movement and the value of human life and the dignity of human life. So we had a really beautiful time here in Oxford.